Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, call Allah Yumla, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, as well as teach well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And pretty much in this video, I'm going to be going into an article, as you can see here on the screen. And this is from the Newsbreak app, newsbreak.com. Okay, and as you can see, the title of this article is China unveils mind-reading machine that decodes thoughts in real time. Prepare to be freaked out. All right, and if you're a person in this world and you see the direction that technology is going, along with artificial intelligence and humanoid robots and drones and heightened surveillance and all these things should freak you out. Okay, they should freak you out. All right, because they should have you thinking exactly what direction is this society going towards. Okay, and how is all of this technology going to affect the future of the society within the next 5 years, 10 years, so on and so forth. And as well, if you're a person in this world that's seeing all this advancement in technology, okay, you ought to also be thinking as well, how will all this technology affect your experience as a human being on the earth, okay, as well as affect whatever right you have on the earth, to be a human being, okay. And so as we see right here in this article, China, okay, has unveiled, okay, which and as it says, unveiled, okay, the fact that is going to China unveiling this technology, there goes to show you what, okay, that China has already been having this type of technology for some years, and it's just now that they're basically coming out with it. Okay, so it says China unveils mind-reading machine that decodes thoughts in real time. Prepare to be freaked out. All right, and the article goes into China's recent advancement in tech is making Black Mirror look like a bedtime story. Okay, and Black Mirror, that's a show that you can find on Netflix. Okay, which goes into dystopian type future, okay, where man is going to be merged with technology and things like that. You can catch that series on Netflix. It says Neural Access, a Chinese startup, has rolled out a brain computer interface that literally reads your thoughts and turns them into words. Okay, so you see the name of this particular Chinese company. All right, Neural Access, what does neural access means? All right, we know neuro means brain. Okay, neuro means brain, and then access, basically telling you what they want to access your brain. They want to access your brain in the form of reading your thoughts, reading your emotions and your opinions and things like that, and turn your thoughts into literal words on paper, or on a computer screen, or however they do this particular technology. Okay, they want to basically make your thoughts come alive on paper, so to speak. All right, and it continues to say, in simple words, a machine that can decode your inner monologue in real time. Now, if you're thinking about how much you want to nap instead of work, your boss might know before you do, because in 2025 your thoughts come with subtitles. So even though it's saying this in a joking manner, but hey, with this type of technology, scenarios like that can actually come true under the system that these heathen want to roll out via all this technology, to where even your bosses, your supervisors, things like that, okay, will be able to know what you're thinking, how you feel about them, how you feel about the job. Okay, whether you know, whether you actually calling in sick because you're actually sick or not. You know, they'll basically be able to tap into your thoughts. All right, and it continues to say, according to the report of Xinhua on January 3rd, 2025, NeuroAccess announced that they successfully tested their mind-reading gizmo. This device took a peek into the brain of a patient with a brain injury. You see, and that's how these companies always like to test out their new technology. Okay, of course, if of course they always test these things on animals first and foremost. Rats, pigs, mice, all right, hamsters, gerbils, you know, and then eventually, once you get past the animals, once they start to test these things on human, they start out by testing these types of things on people with particular injuries or disabilities and things like that. Okay, people who've been through some type of physical trauma. All right, and in this case, as it reads, this was first tested on a person who was a patient of a brain injury. Okay, they test these things out on people that have particular injuries or having some type of physical trauma and things like that, because they use these this type of technology that they test on them to basically use it as a left hand version of healing on that person. Okay, and as well, see how far they can go with this technology on people. Seeing how much it can damage them. What their limits can be when they test these things out. All right. Basically they like to test these things out on people that are destitute. People that are in positions of need. You see, it says this device took a peek into the brain of a patient with a brain injury and translated their thoughts into actual Chinese speech, all without missing a beat. You see, and as we know in this truth, us here in Great Millstone, all of this, this type of technology is just further, just one step closer to, the type of technology that Esau, Edom, and his heathen want to go forward with their NWO agenda. And ultimately, we know this type of technology is all going to be, within that charagma, the Revelation 13 and 16. Whether you want to stick the charagma into the foreheads of people or into their right hands, okay, to control people's abilities to buy and sell, and to control people's access to certain things. And as we see right here, even so much to the point that with that charagma, they'll be able to even control people's thoughts. The very thoughts that go through people's heads. You see, and this is all part of the heathen raging, as it speaks of in Psalms, the 2nd chapter. Okay, imagining a vain thing. Basically looking to set up a system, one world system on the earth that's anti-Yahweh Shemal Shai, and as well, it's looking to set up a system that's going to try to free them from the judgment of Yahweh Shemal Shai that's written in the scriptures. Okay, and speaking of scriptures, let's get one. All right, this is Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 42, verse 18. It says, this is speaking about the Most High Yahweh, right? It says, He seeketh out the deep and the heart, and considereth their crafty devices. You see, the Most High seeks out the deep and the heart. The heart meaning what? The lob, the mind, okay, the brain. It's Yahweh Shemal Shai through his angels that are the only ones that's really and truly, meant to have, the true neural access, so to speak. Access to your brain, access to your mind, access to your spirit. Okay, but you see the heathen on the left hand side. Okay, and of course, starting with Esau, Edom is now trying to seek that type of power. You see, to try to be like the Most High. It says again, Sirach 42:18, He seeketh out the deep and the heart, and considereth their crafty devices. For the Lord knoweth all that may be known, and he beholdeth the signs of the world. Yeah, the Lord knows all that may be known. Okay, even the very thoughts in our heads. All right, our thoughts, our beliefs, our true intents, our opinions, our emotions. You see, only a God is meant to have that type of power. You see, and that's what Esau, Edom, and his heathen are trying to establish via the NWO system on the left hand side. They're trying to establish, God-like power on the left hand side through carnal technological means. It says, verse 19, He declareth the things that are past and for to come, and revealeth the steps of hidden things. Verse 20, No thought escapeth him, neither any word is hidden from him. See that? No thought escapeth him. Okay, neither any word is hidden from him. And that's what we see, all right, reading this article right here, that now China, okay, which are the Moabites, are trying to seek that very power. Okay, the power of no thought being able to escape them. Okay, reading people's minds, reading people's opinions, their thoughts and whatnot. All right, in real time, nonetheless, as it went into. Okay, being able to have access to your mind, to your lob, to your brain in real time. Okay, without missing a beat. Okay, that this is basically godlike power on the left hand side through technological means. All right, and of course we know, not only is this taking place in China, of course, but this is also taking place here in America, Babylon the Great as well. Look at guys like Elon Musk. Okay, what is he involved in? The whole Neuralink system. Okay, where he's already testing patients. Okay, sticking charagmas inside of their brains. Okay, people that have had particular injuries or physical traumas. Have gotten into maybe a physical accident or whatnot, or underwent some type of injury to where they're not able to walk, they're not able to stand, they're not able to use their limbs. All right, well, this guy Elon Musk, okay, over the past year or so, has been testing certain people, okay, sticking the charagma inside of their foreheads, to give them the ability to walk and talk and run and use their limbs all over again through carnal pseudoscience technological means. All right, so this is happening. This type of technology is being rolled out on a global scale. Not just here in America or in the or within America's European allies. Okay, but as we see, this is also taking place here in China. All right, and you best believe this is also taking place over there in Japan as well, which is another technologically advanced country in the world. Japan. Okay, as a matter of fact, if you've been keeping up over the past years or so, China and Japan has actually been more technologically advanced than America over the past years. Okay, here in America, just a few years ago, back in 2020, we've seen the installation of 5G towers. Well, guess what? Countries like China and Japan, they already had that type of technology. And over recent years, we've been seeing countries such as China and Japan upgrading to 6G technology. All right, and you would have to ask yourself, why are those countries, upgrading to that level of technology? Okay, it's ultimately for the purpose of the NWO. Okay, for the elites of Esau, Edom, and the heathen nation to basically control all of humanity through technological means. Okay, the charagma, along with AI, automation, robots, drones, okay, mass surveillance, both, outwardly and as well inwardly under the skin. All right. And as we see, these heathen, they even want to surveil your brain, your thoughts. All right. So Sirach 42:20 again, no thought escapeth him, neither any word is hidden from him. You see, and Yahweh Shemel Shai through his angels has this type of power to know your thoughts, to know your beliefs, your intents, your opinions. And these heathen want to seek this power on the left hand side. Okay, let's go to let's see. Let's go to all right, Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 1. All right, going to the king of Tyre, which, as we always go into when we bring this chapter out, this can also be linked to Esau, Edom, here in this current day. All right, Ezekiel 28 verse 1. The word of the Lord Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power Yahweh, because thine heart is lifted up. Okay, the pride of thine heart, Esau, Edom's heart, has deceived him. Okay, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God. All right, and how is Esau, Edom sitting in the seat of the Most High God? Well, we see it, first and foremost via, Amalek being in the Holy Land, all right, in the land of Jerusalem, setting himself up as the chosen people, okay. And then, in another sense, we see Esau trying to sit in the seat of the Most High Yahweh in a form of, pseudoscience technology, using his pseudoscience and his technology and his left hand blessings to basically establish godlike power over the people in the earth. Okay, just total control over people and their lives and their access to buying and selling and food and resources and things like that. Okay, taking away people's rights. All right, restricting people. Okay, controlling the narrative in the media and on social media. All right, Esau Edom is seeking to gain godlike power on the earth via his NWO system. It says, verse 2 again, Ezekiel 28:2, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power Yahweh, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a power, I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas representing the peoples, all right, the nations. Okay, nations are likened unto the seas and waters and things like that. And it says, yet thou art a man and not a God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. You see, and the Lord is going to show Esau, Edom, and his elites in these heathen nations that they're not gods as they seek to be. Okay, and they're going to find out, all right, the hard way, all right, by being on a back end of the Lord's judgments. Okay, having their rulerships being taken down by Yahweh Shai. Okay, being brought into captivity under his people. Okay, serving us for 1,000 years in the kingdom. All right, not learning the ways of war no more. Okay, destroying all their weapons and their technology. All right, and the Lord is going to brutally show these heathen that they're not the gods that they set out to be. All right, and then ultimately it's going to be his people, the nation of Israel, starting with the tabernacle of David, that's going to rule as the true gods on the earth, directly under his son Yahweh Shai. It says, verse 3, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel, there is no secret that they can hide from thee. You see, and that's the type of system that these heathen, starting with Esau, Edom, is trying to set up in the earth. They don't want no secret hidden from them. Okay, they want to have just total control over people, total control over their narrative, total control of where people can go, and have control over their rights, and even control over the very thoughts in their heads, as we read in that article. Okay, control over people's beliefs, and their emotions, and what makes them happy and what makes them sad. Even this guy, all right, Schwab. Even he said what? That you will own nothing and be happy. Okay? What does it mean when he says you will own nothing and be happy? You won't be able to have right to own land, own a house, own, property. Okay? As you should, as a human being on the earth. All right? And even as far as you won't be able to even own your own body. All right? Even your own thoughts. You see? That's the type of control that these heathen want over humanity. Okay? Just total godlike power. All right? Control over the earth, control over people, control over your thoughts, everything. Just total control. All right? So they don't want no secret hidden from them. They want to know, everybody's, everybody on the earth's true intentions, true beliefs. Okay? To know who's down with this beast system and who's not. Who's down with the NWO and who's not. Who's down with the alphabet agenda and who's not. And ultimately who's down with Satan and who's not. Okay? So that they can put, pretty much put everybody into a category. Okay? All for, again, his control. Okay? Let's get a second Esdras. Second Esdras 15 and 46. Second Esdras 15 and 46. It says, "And thou, Asia, thou art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person." Okay, and of course, the Babylon, speaking of Babylon the Great, America. And what is the hope of Babylon? What is the hope of the rulers and the leaders of Babylon the Great, America, in these latter days, in 2025 going forward, to basically, take away people's constitutional rights through, order out of chaos and things like that. Okay, take away people's human rights and ultimately set up the NWO and stick that charagma inside of these American people. Okay, and as it read, even Asia is a partaker in that same agenda, which what is right now? What is the top country over there in East Asia? All right, China. China. And as we read in that article, we see what China has been up to lately. Unveiling machines and technology that can basically read people's thoughts in real time. Okay, which again, we all know that's ultimately going to lead to the implementation of the charagma, the Revelation 13 and 16. So it says, 2nd Esdras 15 verse 47, "Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her." Being in the technological race against Babylon the Great, okay, and even adopting, certain American customs and cultures. If you see a so-called Chinese man walking around wearing a suit and a tie, well, guess what? They learned that from Esau, okay? Hey, over there in China, there's pretty much a trend over there in China where pretty much the rich elites over there in China, one of the main cars that they like to drive is Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce, which I believe Rolls Royce is a British car manufacturer, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, but hey, the fact that these rich elites of China, they love to drive in Rolls Royce. That's also just another sign of how China, Moab, okay, is envies Esau. Seeks to be like Esau. Okay, and as well, we also know Great Britain is a major part of the beast system. Okay, America came out of Great Britain, and that's pursuant to Revelation the 17th chapter. Okay, America, that eighth head that was of the seventh head, which is Great Britain. All right. So it says again, 2nd Esdras 15 verse 47, "Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, Okay, the women over there in China taking on the idea of feminism and promiscuity. Just like the women over here in Babylon the Great in the West. All right, and it says that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. All right, yeah. And speaking of these different nations, especially primarily America, that that deals with particular trades with China. Accepting China's exports, okay, in exchange, uh, basically accepting China's exports, their goods and the things that China produces in exchange for China taking on accepting a dollar, okay, which China is fastly dumping a dollar more and more, okay. And as a matter of fact, I believe that was sometime this past year 2024 where China where it came out where China basically sold off, I believe, like 36 billion dollars worth of treasury bonds to the United States. Okay, so all these deals and these trades with China between the U.S. and China, hey, that's fastly getting ready to come to a halt. As we also know, China is also part of the BRICS nations. Rubbing elbows with Russia. So China, hey, very soon it's getting ready to come to a point where China is just going to officially, cut off Babylon, cut off America, okay, and that's going to deal a major blow to Babylon the Great, okay, as Babylon the Great America depends on, goods from China, as well as different nations, okay, playing a harlot with China, all right, in these different nations. It says, verse 48, 2nd Ezra 15 and 48. Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Okay, and who's hated in all her works and her inventions? America, Babylon the Great. As it speaks of her in Revelation 18. Babylon the Great's sins have reached unto the heavens. Okay, Yahweh Shema Shai completely abhors and despises this place, America. Alright, and China, over there in China, is following after the same pattern of America, in the form of its pseudoscience and its technology, okay, seeking to have total control over the people, and taking away people's rights and things like that. All right. So what? So therefore saith Yahweh, verse 49, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. Yeah. So basically, as it's going into, because China, along with Japan and these other nations that are following after Babylon the Great America, because they're following after America and his ways and whatnot, and basically the Lord has a judgment set for these nations. Okay, poverty, famine, sword, destruction, pestilence, as it was going into, and ultimately nuclear destruction, okay, for particular nations around the world, okay, for following after the ways of Babylon the Great, nuclear missiles shot off in World War III. All right. And so you could pretty much read the rest of this article, because it goes more into it, more in detail into it, So yeah, so this is pretty much where the world is at right now with technology. Okay, technology that's able to read your mind, read your brain. Okay, so surveil your mind. All right. Hey, and that's why it speaks of in Revelation 18 chapter how Babylon the Great, seeks, slaves as well as the souls of men. Okay, if the elites of Esau, Edom, and these heathen nations, okay, can fulfill this type of technology, then they'll basically, have your soul in captivity, so to speak. Okay, your very thoughts, your very emotions, your opinions, your intent. Okay, all these things will be under their control via their technology and their pseudoscience and their AI. All right, and that's why, as a matter of fact, let me get one more and close it out. Let's see. This is Job chapter 5 verse 12. This is speaking about Yahweh Shema Shai. He says, He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Yeah, and as we read in that article, that's one of the main enterprises of not of course not only Moab as we read, but ultimately the elites of Esau, Edom, okay, and the rest of these heathen nations, controlling your thoughts, controlling your access to buying and selling, basically controlling your rights to basically be a human being, okay. Hey, so if the Lord doesn't intervene speedily, okay, and cut off these heathen nations from performing their enterprise, then hey, by the time Yahushua comes back, no flesh will be worthy to save. Okay? These heathen will basically get the victory over the elect if the Lord, doesn't work speedily. You see? And that's why we, the hopeful elect, this is just one thing among many things as to why we sigh and cry. Because this type of technology, all right, this is an abomination. Okay, this is something that should freak anybody out. Okay, that gets wind of you know this type of information. Okay, this type of stuff that should have you calling upon a higher power, and that's what we, the hopeful elect, do. We call upon Yahweh Shema Shai, okay, to intervene and put it into all of this madness and this pseudoscience and technology of these heathen. You see. So so Lord willing, this is edifying, and until next time, shalom.